YouTube, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to be discussing another spiritual discipline to live by, and that is present moment awareness. I would argue that this is potentially the most difficult spiritual discipline. Like, people are like, oh, I live in the present moment, but it's a lot harder to do in practice. And a lot of the time, in order to enhance your ability of present moment awareness, you have to practice a lot of meditation. And I don't really like to say meditation sometimes, because all meditation is eliminating stimulation, because we are all constantly stimulated. And I'm seeing this issue a lot with Gen Z. Like, they must always be doing something. They must always be stimulated. Like, they're so attached to these phones. COVID-19 exacerbated this, and it perhaps was part of the plan, but and if they're not pressing the phones, they must be doing something. They find it so difficult to just sit down and do nothing. So if you practice that discipline, it will strengthen your present moment awareness and enhance your consciousness. So just sitting down and doing nothing. You don't have to close your eyes, as I mentioned in the meditation video, and practice a mudra. You don't have to do that. You don't have to practice a mantra. You can just put your hands, sit down on your lap, just start with a timer of 5 minutes. Don't even use your phone for the timer. Go and find something else for the timer. Stay away from... So it's just because you have to think back to our ancestors. They were adept at present moment awareness. And there are some books, so there's Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, because they didn't have all the stimulation, so bouncing around. Our ancestors didn't have all the stimulation that we're exposed to today. And obviously there's pros and cons. So it's just about sitting down, doing nothing. When you're training, see, a lot of the time people go to the gym or they work out outside, and then they can't do it without music because they're so addicted to the stimulation. Try it a week with your training, with your working out without stimulation. You'd find that the workout is harder and it strengthens you even more. Anything that's difficult strengthens you. So present moment awareness, a book that's good. I think I mentioned it, Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, is very good. And in that book, he mentioned a story. I'm probably going to mess up the story a little bit, but it was something along the lines of, there was this man, his wife had just divorced him, his kids had just died. But it starts with that he's sitting on the park bench looking at flowers, something like that. And it's like, right now, his wife divorced him. That doesn't matter. Right now, he's here on a park bench. Nothing else matters. So that's basically what he's trying to say. All your problems, all your worries, right now, you have no worries. That's all in your mind. Thinking, future thinking, past thinking. If you focus on the present moment, you don't have any worries. It doesn't matter what has happened. So a lot of the time, where it's anxiety or it's depression. Anxiety is worrying about the future. Depression is worrying about the past and dwelling on the past. In this present moment, there's no anxiety and there's no depression. And a good way you can accomplish this, a good way you can increase this ability is by really focusing on the present moment, really focusing on the task at hand. And I've seen this a lot. Like, when you're brushing your teeth, you should just be brushing your teeth. Like, but people, when they're brushing their teeth, they're pressing phone, they're walking around. Like, the more you can focus on one thing at a time, the more you're going to increase your present moment awareness. And another thing that can definitely help with this is doing things slowly and focusing on what you're doing in the present moment. Doing things extremely slowly. And the way you can do this and increase the skill is by, when you're, like, let's say I'm pouring a glass of water, deliberately do it slower than usual. I have part of my words, part of my values is, so there's a saying here in Kenya, where I am now, it's haraka haraka haina baraka, pole pole ndio mweno. And it's basically saying, fast. If you do things fast, there's no blessings. Slowly is the way. So that's just a proverb here that I feel like encapsulates this video. So yeah, just focus on doing things slowly. Focus on being in the present moment. Meditation can greatly help this. Not allowing external things to affect you and influence you, because the only thing that matters is in here. Well, that's the message for this video. It's certainly probably one of the more difficult spiritual disciplines to really put into your everyday life, because it takes practice to perfect. And by no means I'm not saying I'm perfect. Sometimes I still dwell on, something I could have done differently in the past. But I believe the more meditation you do and the more spiritual disciplines you practice, the easier this stuff becomes.